Rice-Eccles Stadium is one of the best atmospheres in college football, like you said, Philip, and I think it's going to be still absolutely electric. It's an early kickoff. I get that. Will it be probably as it was as a night game? Maybe not, but maybe not a kickoff. But I tell you what, if this is a good game, it's still going to be pretty loud and still going to be pretty crazy. Philip, I still remember that UCLA game from a couple years ago. Dante Moore. He actually looks. I got to give Dante Moore some Moore's flowers, by the way. He's actually done pretty well with Oregon right now. But man, when UCLA came up during the day and played at Salt Lake City, Utah only won that game like 14-7. But the UCLA offense couldn't do anything, and part of the reason is that ruckus environment that is Rice-Eccles Stadium. And we'll talk about some of the other factors that go in Utah's favor with just the location of this game. But the fans are going to be energized and they're going to be ready to roll, Philip.
Give me 2 5-hour energies before this football game, JT. Bring everybody else, bring that 5-hour energy. Seriously, we need some juice and everything because, look, 10 a.m. is unusual. I can't remember ever watching a Utah football game at 10 a.m. Would I like this game?
Colorado last year, right? Philip, Colorado last year?
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's right. But that was at Colorado last year.
Yes, that was at.
That was
at. Yeah, yes. And big news as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the first time that I could ever remember a home game at 10 a.m., which Whittingham, of course, loves and everything. But look, yes, our folks going to be a little bit sleepy. Maybe they'll wake up, though. They'll wake up soon because guess what? Big Noon's going to be there at 8 a.m., juicing up the crowd. I think that people realize how big a game this is. And so you get in there, you go nuts, give it everything you've got, make it the home field advantage that we know it can be. And I think that it won't be a big issue. Texas Tech thinks it's going to be an advantage, this 10 a.m. kickoff. I just don't think so. I think that the crowd is going to be juiced. This game means everything. It's a must-win game. It's possibly a tiebreaker for the Big 12 title down the line. We'll see how the season develops. This is how big this football game. You have to win it for Utah. You do. It's a home game. You got to get it done. Everybody knows the importance. Primetime TV, seriously, just talking about some of the keys to this too, JT, really crowd noise is one of the keys to the game. Plenty of penalties, get them into third down. And I know we're going to break this down more and stuff, but really the crowd needs to show up a ton for this game.
This game being at 10 a.m. Utah time is, I guess, something for Tech, but they have a lot of things they should be concerned about going into this game. Number one, as I mentioned in the last segment, the fact that this team has not played in a road game is crazy. I also believe that Utah has played maybe 2 teams better than them. I think it's an argument about where Oregon State, Wyoming, UCLA, all those fall, but there's no doubt to me it is some combination of those 3. And also, at least Utah has hit some adversity on the road. I think it's good to hit adversity. That's the other thing. Utah has things they need to work on and improve on. At least Utah has an idea what some of their issues are. When you play cupcakes like Texas Tech has, you don't really know. You know what else you don't really know? How your team's going to react when they get punched in the mouth and they're really thrown into the fire. You want to be thrown into the fire? Number one, Rice-Eccles Stadium crowd. Amped up because, like you said, Philip, you got Big Noon kickoff earlier in the day. Number 2, altitude. How many teams have we seen come in to Salt Lake City and they make more penalties and more mistakes? Because what happens when you're fatigued, you make more penalties and you have more mistakes. Teams get fatigued a lot playing in the altitude. That's another thing. You know what else can lead to that? When you don't have that chemistry with your teammates going back year after year. This is such a new group of Texas Tech players. This is the first game I think we see that show up. I think Morgan Scalley is going to be in his blitz bag coming into this one. Tech offensive line's got some talent, but there are some new pieces in there. This is not a group that's played. They've only played their few games together. They didn't even get to go through all the spring ball together. I have questions about how they're going to hold up, and I think they are going to be the more penalized team in this game because it is such a jump up in competition, because it is the fact that they are playing in altitude and all these new pieces together. Tech's good, but I think there's a lot of things and factors outside of the X's and O's matchup that favor Utah going into Saturday's game.
Oh, absolutely. Here's a couple big ideas, JT. Tell me what you think about these, okay? Big idea for Utah, okay? This is the Utah big idea. Make it heavy, meaning offensive line dominating in the trenches. Yeah. Make it physical, big hits, physicality, Utah football, and make it suffocating. That means pressure, blitzing, John Henry Daly, baby, going after Barrett Morton. Ooh, he's nice. And then also with the crowd amplified and the crowd volume, make it heavy, make it physical, and make it suffocating. Big idea for Utah, okay? On the other side, we got to talk about Texas Tech too. What's their big idea? What do they want out of this football game too? And Texas Tech, they want to make it fast. They want a track meet. They've got explosive players at wide receiver. They've got 5 wide receivers that have over 100 receiving yards this year. Seriously, like they are deep.
We cannot relate.
Right. It's like, it's almost like the exact
Mhm.
opposite, like makeup in a lot of ways
Yep.
offensively, but they're going to want to make it fast, explosives. They want to make it wide, getting the speed guys at wide receiver the ball vertically, horizontally too. And they want to make it chaotic, turnovers, big plays, explosives. So their big ideas, make it fast, make it wide, and make it chaotic. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let that happen. Don't turn the ball over. Win the
Mhm.
turnover margin. Crowd, come play. Take away the big play. And I think Utah's going to be fun in this football game.
I think so too. It's going to be a battle, though. You mentioned a little bit about what makes this Texas Tech team so strong. They haven't played anyone really, but there's a reason they are still ranked. I mean, they look really good. Let's also not forget there's a reason I think Utah's getting them at a good time because of how early in the season it still is for those transfer portal pieces coming together. This is a juggernaut. It's a top 3 transfer portal class. It's an incredibly talented team that is capable of coming into Salt Lake City and getting win. Morton is a very good quarterback. His issue has always just been health, but he's been healthy so far to start the year. But he can light it up nearly over 900 yards passing, nearly 1,000. They do not have a standout running back. Their top running back actually got hurt during fall camp. I believe Utah has 2 backs that are actually better than their top guys right now, but the pass catching department is where they have lots of guys. They have a talented tight end and Carter Jr., Ekin as a receiver, Douglas as well too, right? They have lots of wide receivers I look at and I go, okay, that's going to be an interesting thing for Utah too, is if you do blitz, you better get home because Utah has asked Smith Snowden, Elijah Davis, and as well as Blake Cotton to sit out on just an island sometimes. And that is a lot easier to do based on how you've seen so far, and then now when you get by far the most accurate quarterback we've seen. Nico was tough to tackle. There's a reason their UCLA is 0-3. Part of it is his accuracy. It's going to be a lot tougher to do that on an island against these receivers. So I do think offensively that'll be interesting to see for Utah because there's some talented players. So how does, like you mentioned, how does the defensive line get home? Can you get home with 4? I feel like Utah will be able to stop the run, but it'll be 3rd and long. Like it's not like 3rd and long. Tech is going to be okay getting into 3rd and long. And defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a battle. I mean, their defensive line has a ton of potential NFL draft picks on it. David Bailey, the Stanford transfer, being one of them. Our offensive line does. That's one of the best on best matchups the Big 12 has to offer. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker, he's really good. I'm excited to see how he's able to tackle Devin Dampier, Wayshawn Parker in one-on-one spots. And a pretty talented secondary too. It's a talented Tech team, but there are a lot of things, as we talked about earlier, going for Utah. One of those also being the tough competition that Utah has played. And I do still feel really good about the fact that a lot of this Utah team has continuity, even if that's as much as like Devin Dampier, Ryan Davis, and Jason Beck, Kawhi Rodgers all being together last year. Still gives them an advantage over a lot of these teams that are coming together this late.
We'll see what Tech does when they get punched, right? They're going to get punched in this football game, of course. Utah, they get an early start. It's going to be very interesting to see what Tech does and stuff, especially if the crowd gets in it. A lot of penalties, false starts on the Tech side. I can tell you this, JT, though, Baron Morton. Okay, the guy has an explosive arm. He is serious. That's the quarterback for Texas Tech. He can throw that football down there, and they can get explosives all the time. His Achilles heel, though, is pressure. Like you have to get pressure. He's not a true dual threat quarterback. He can take it and run a little bit, but that's just not his focus. He's not Dampier at all. So you have to get home. You have to send exotic blitzes out there, and you've got to hit him. You've got to play physical football, Utah football. If Utah can get to Morton, that's going to be one of the main keys of the football game. Getting pressure, crowd noise right there, make it hard, bring that adversity. But I just think that you really need to put him like sacks, quarterback hits, and everything, and make it super physical with him specifically, because they're going to be trying to throw the football. And if Utah gets up early, they're going to throw it all around the field and make him erratic, make him nervous. That has to happen, much like Dante Moore with UCLA a couple years ago. Different players. Moore, that was like his first true road star as a freshman. Barrett Morton has played a lot of football, but when quarterbacks get hit, they get erratic and everything. And Utah has to do it, figure out ways. If it's Logan Fano, if it's John Henry Daly, if it's blitzes, if it's Spartan, it doesn't matter how you get it. Just hit the quarterback. That's super important this game.
If this was 7-on-7, I might be more concerned. But it's not. It's football. And Utah has better talent in the trenches to me, as good as Texas Tech, some of their guys are. Also, Utah to me, like Baron Morton, 7-on-7, he's probably going to put up better numbers than Devin Dampier. But this is football. Baron Morton might be a little more accurate, but the difference in the accuracy gap between these two, nowhere near as large as the athleticism. Devin Dampier, capable of buying time, scrambling, being used in the quarterback run game too. And he is obviously just electric a player to watch. The touchdown to Larry Simmons has been on replay. Every highlight reel you could basically find. Like, Utah's got a guy QB. I still think they have the best quarterback in this game. And on top of a lot of the other talent that Utah has, I think that favors Utah in this matchup a lot. Let's also not forget this Utah team. When I know this is a bit of a I'm trying to find the right word for it, but like an exact stat, but it's just true. When this Utah team has had their projected starting quarterback at the beginning of the season, starting at home, they haven't lost a true home game since 2017. The last home game they lost against that Oregon team was Bryson Barnes. All the home losses last year were Isaac Wilson. When the starting quarterback's been the guy, Utah still has one of the best home field winning percentages in college football. Today's episode of Locked On Utes is brought to you by our great friends at the Game Cap. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I am so fired up for this Saturday's game, but I want to have that perfect hat that I can wear as well, too. And just a quick question for all of you out there. Don't you wish you could go back in time and get that truly classic hat that you had when you were sitting front row at your school's biggest rivalry game? I mean, what hat would you be wearing? Yes, I said hat. I mean, for me, it would be a game hat, because the game hats, they aren't just hats. They're the same vintage styles fans wore back in the 80s and 90s. And guess what? They still go for the same price they did back then. When you use code Locked On, that's all caps, no spaces, Locked On, one word, you will get a vintage hat for just $16.99. Go to other hat stores, see how much hats are nowadays. That is one heck of a deal. You can head to thegamecaps.com, that's thegamecaps.com, and use that code Locked On, all caps, to grab your team's classic bar or retro circle design using the code Locked On for exclusive discount. Because legends wear the game, and so can you when you head over to thegame.com. That's going to do it for Locked On Utes today. Appreciate you all for joining in on our show. If you're in the market for a second listen, Locked On College Football, Locked On Big 12 have you covered. Thank you again for making Locked On Utes your first listen and view of the day, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.